Hello and welcome to the 113th episode of the Sock Bunny Knit and Fit video podcast. My name is Kimberly, also known as Sock Bunny, and today is Thursday, October 17th, 2013. I am recording in overcast Rhode Island, not sunny Florida. If you are a new viewer, this is not a normal episode for me. I normally live in Florida and record indoors, and I am visiting my daughter's college in Rhode Island, so I thought I would podcast outside. It's about 60 degrees Fahrenheit, overcast. I was hoping the sun would come out. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. Oh, it might be peeking out. It's sort of windy, so I hope the wind doesn't bother you too much. But I wanted to record outside so you could get the beautiful scenery. So I'm going to pick up the camera and show you. But so if you get seasick or motion sick, close your eyes for a few minutes. So I'm going to pick up the camera. And here's a beautiful statue of Mary. I'm sitting outside in their backyard, basically. So behind them, behind the school, they have these fields. You can see the leaves on the trees, beautiful colors. And more beautiful scenery. That's the back of their school library and their school building. And then you come around, and then in this big building here, this is actually the dormitories, the gymnasium, the kitchen, the laundry, all that kind of stuff. This is the back of the chapel. So that circle you see there is actually a very gorgeous, beautiful stained glass. I'll take some pictures inside. All my pictures from the trip you can see on Instagram.com/sockbunny. So that again is more of the back of her school. And you can see the gorgeous leaves changing colors on the trees. Beautiful. I wish the sun was out so you could see them even more clearly. It's a yucky day today, but that's all right. There's their basketball courts. They love to play basketball here. And you can see more of the beautiful fields behind the school. And then we're back to Mary. So close your eyes. I'm going to put the camera back. It's going to be crazy. Oops, I dropped something. Hopefully that will stay. Hopefully. Yeah, that should be good. Okay. Hello. So, like I said, I am Sock Bunny. You can find me pretty much everywhere on the internet as Sock Bunny, such as Ravelry Plurk, Instagram, Google Twitter, iTunes, and YouTube. Um, I'm not going to do all my usual segments today because of time, and also I don't know how long my laptop battery is going to live, so I'm going to sort of skip a whole bunch of segments today. And like I said, this is not a normal episode, so if you want to see a normal episode, go watch, well, normal, then go watch a previous episode or wait a couple of weeks. Anyway, a bunch of podcasters have had a bad couple of weeks. Um, Blip.tv is where a lot of us host our uh, video podcasts because it's free and also because they will send the podcast directly to iTunes for us and also to YouTube for us. Well, Blip has been kicking off a bunch of people, not just knitters. They've just been kicking off a bunch of people who don't have good enough quality. I don't know exactly what that means, but I don't know how long I will be on here. I'm going to stay on as long as they let me stay for free because I would be crazy not to. I'm very skeptical that they're going to let uh, people stay on who don't have like high production value, but we'll see. So for now, I'm still here, but a lot of podcasts, oh, there's a bee. Ah. A lot of podcasts are having to move. So if you haven't seen your podcast in a couple of weeks, go check out their Ravelry group or their blog. I wish this bee would go away. Shoo, shoo, go away, shoo, shoo. Ah, this will be a funny podcast if I get stung, right? Okay. So if you haven't seen them in a while, go check out either their blog or their Ravelry group and see what's going on with them. Some of them have changed their iTunes feed. So if you have a podcast downloader like Downcast or something like that, you're going to need to go resubscribe to them. So, like I said, go check out each of those podcasts and find out what's going on with them. If you have a podcast that has moved and you want me to announce it on here, just send me a message on Ravelry and I will announce it so people will know. Last week, I forgot to tell you that when I did the book review for Cascadia, Cooperative Press said I could give a copy of the ebook away. So I opened a thread, and if you go and you want a copy of that book, do you want to win it? Go to the Sock Bunny Knit and Fit Ravelry group and enter. There's a thread for that, and I'm going to keep the thread open through November 15th, and then the following podcast after November 15th, I will close that. So thank you, Cooperative Press, for allowing me to do that. What are we going to talk about today? We are, oh, I think the sun might be coming out. We're going to talk about finished objects, works in progress, fitness, stash enhancement, favorite things, knit and crochet along in events, charity, and then at the end I'm going to do a summary of my trip to New England so far. So if you don't want to see that, you don't have to watch. So I put that at the end. Okay, so what is my first finished object? My only finished object. I finished this on the train. I finished my pineapple upside down cake socks. This yarn is by Desert Vista Dye Works, and it's in her dessert line. And this is for pineapple upside down cake, which is probably my favorite dessert ever. I love it so much. So I finished both socks, and I've been eagerly awaiting the podcast so I can wear them. So I'll wear them either tonight or tomorrow. So that is done. Nothing exciting to say. They're vanilla socks. Wow, exciting. I think I cast those on during Sock Extravaganza. Pretty sure. So let's talk about works in progress. I am wearing a Sedona sweater. If you will remember, I finished this a while back, and I love it so much. I wear it at least once or twice a week. It's short sleeve, so it's perfect for Florida. I'm not happy with the color, and I am going to rip out the bind off and extend it. I just haven't had time to do that. So I cast on another one because I love it so much. And I'm using my own hand-dyed yarn, and this is my own DK weight, my sugar DK. And of course, I'm in the middle of a row, but that doesn't matter. You can sort of get the gist of what's going on. So this colorway I'm calling, this is my jam. See if you can see it better from this angle. And the last time you saw it, let me see if I can untangle this mess here. Last time you saw it, I had just finished the collar. I just finished the collar, and I was right here, and I was starting the increases. Oh, there you can sort of see. Oh, look, the sun might be, maybe, no. It's toying with me. So I am using my, like I said, oh, sorry, allergies. Hey, crazy. I'm using my own sugar DK. And when I get this, I am joining another ball because when I get about this much yarn left, I like to alternate balls when it's hand-dyed yarn just to make sure I don't have any weird color, like a noticeable line where the color changes. That's where the ball changes. That's what I'm trying to say. So that again is the Sedona. And here I have the pattern with me. It's very wrinkled because it's been in my bag. Sedona by C2K Knits. C2K Knits. It's a paid pattern on Ravelry, well worth the money. It's very, like I have said before, it is definitely something a beginner could do. It's very well written. I was able to understand it without any problems. So, and it's, I mean, really, you have knits, purls, yarn overs. That's pretty much it. So if you can do those three things, you could probably knit this. Okay, so that is the Sedona sweater, and the yarn, again, the colorway is called This Is My Jam. I yesterday drove to a local knitting store because Sarah mentioned that she wanted to have a gray hat to match her gray coat. And if you've watched for a while, you know how much I love gray. And I knit her a gray sweater last year for Christmas, around Christmas time. So I really don't like knitting with gray. But when you love your child, you do things for them you would not normally do. So I was like, well, if I have to knit with gray, at least it should be awesome yarn. So I got some yarn that is awesome. This is Cascade Eco Duo. And of course I had to wind it into a ball because I don't have a ball winder with me. Cascade Eco Duo. It is 70% baby alpaca and 30% merino wool. It is ridiculously soft. So she wanted a hat with baubles. So I'm just sort of making up a pattern, and I've done one row of the baubles. I'm knitting this hat on one circular, but I really prefer to use 2 circulars for hats, but I had to buy a needle and I didn't want to buy 2, blah, blah, blah. I didn't have an extra 8 with me. So it is ridiculously soft. I won't finish it while I'm here, so I'll just send it to her when I'm finished. She is coming home for Thanksgiving for the first time in like 5 years. So if I haven't, I should be done way before then. If I haven't, then I'll give it to her at Thanksgiving, but otherwise I'll just mail it to her. So she's really happy with the yarn. And next we have a sock head hat. I started another one on the train because I finished my socks and I wanted some more brainless knitting. And of course, I'm in the middle of a row again. I grabbed some yarn before I left home. This is some marathon socks in the Seattle colorway. It's like greens and blues and purples. And I'm making a sock head hat. It's a free pattern online. You use sock yarn. I'm using size 3 needles, and you can see I haven't made very much progress, but it's really pretty. And if I like it, I'm going to keep it. Otherwise, if I'm not crazy about it, I will give it to the charity hat drive. I really want to make one to keep for myself, but I keep giving them away. This is like the 3rd one that I've made. So again, that is the sock head hat, free pattern online. And that is it for works in progress. I think as travelers, we think we're going to get more knitting done when we're on these trips, and we just don't. On the train, I didn't get as much knitting done because while the sun was still up, I was looking at all the scenery going by, and then, you know, there's people watching and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't knit as much as I thought I would on the train. Um, but it was nice to be able to just sit and relax and knit and have something to do. I did. I'll talk about it later, but I also watched a movie while I was on the train. But by that time, it was dark, and I didn't want to bother other people with the light. So anyway, let's move on and talk about the next subject, which is fitness. I'm not going to do the poster along prize drawing winner today. They have limited internet access here, and the Wi-Fi is not that great. So I'm going to wait until tomorrow. I'll be in Stockbridge, Massachusetts, visiting my friend, and she has internet there. So, and also this podcast will be uploaded when I get to her house tomorrow. So, every month in the Sock Bunny group, we have a fitness along and a poster along. So the fitness along, any day you work out at least 30 minutes, you can enter your fitness, or if you have at least 10,000 steps on your pedometer, you can also enter it for the day. All the rules are in the Sock Bunny group. For the poster along, you need to post your poster within the first 10 days of the month. That's a very short and abbreviated summary of those two. Go check out the Sock Bunny group for more information on that. Like I said, this is not a normal episode. Stash enhancement. I want to say thank you to Jessie, who is Jess Dodd of the Multi Craft Duel podcast. She gifted me 3 of her patterns, and I'm going to show them on the next episode when I'm at my friend's house and I'm indoors because it'll be easier. But she gifted me her Dinner in the Eiffel Tower shawl pattern, her beach house shawl pattern, and her autumn in Paris hat pattern. So thank you very much, Jessie, for those. Like I said, I'll show them next week on the tablet. I did have an awesome, 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 awesome treat. I got to meet Kim from the Craft Stash podcast, and we met in New York City when I was driving through on Sunday. We got together for an early dinner, and I met her there like at about 3:30 in the afternoon, and we were sitting, I'll talk more about this later, but we were sitting right on the Hudson River. It was just gorgeous. So she gifted me some beautiful yarn. She gifted me some yarn from the Verdant Griffin, and this is not showing true. This is like a pretty much an emerald green, but you can't see the true color. It's their DK weight, and it is simply gorgeous. And the colorway is called Times Square, which is of course a New York reference, which I am super excited about. I've never been to Times Square. I would like to. I hope the wind is not bothering you guys too much. I'm sorry if it is, but I can't do anything about it. I'm sitting here sort of cold. I think I mentioned it's like 60 degrees here, so. And then she also gifted me 2 little tiny mini skeins that I could use for my sock yarn blanket. And she gave me some little chocolates. Oops, let's see if we can see this. Mini sea salt caramel Yum. So thank you, Kim. The best part was getting to give Kim a hug. I told her it was weird because I was like, I felt like it was strange because she wasn't in my computer. I was like sitting there. It was surreal because I could see her, and she's even prettier in real life than she is on her podcast. So thank you, Kim, for meeting with me. That was just awesome, awesome, awesome. And she paid for dinner, so thank you, Kim, for that. So next, let's talk about. Like I said, I'm skipping a few sections. Favorite things, of course, my favorite thing this week, well, other than getting to see my daughter, is the beautiful fall leaves. It's just been gorgeous. It's like everywhere we drive, just seeing like the trees on both sides of the road. You know, we just don't have that in Florida. In Florida, the trees in our backyard lose their leaves within about a week in January. We don't really have falling leaves in my at my house anyway. All the leaves fall off the tree in January. So and then they start growing back like in March. So like we only have like 2 months without leaves on our trees. So that's my favorite thing. Knit-alongs, crochet-alongs, and events this weekend is the real reason I made this trip. I am going to New York Sheep and Wool, also known as Rhinebeck. I will be there Saturday and Sunday. So if you see me, please do come up and say hi. I will have podcast buttons to give out. I brought like 50 with me, so I have plenty, and I'm super excited about that. Today, when Sarah gets done with classes, we will be going to a local fiber mill called Slater Mill. It's in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. And I will talk about that on the next podcast. And then tomorrow I'm driving to Stockbridge, Massachusetts. It's about 2.5 hours away to go stay with my friend Michelle for a few days. Michelle, I've mentioned her before. She's my knitting mentor. And we'll be going to Rhinebeck. And then Monday, we will be going to visit Chesterwood, which is the home of the guy who carved the Lincoln Memorial. Also, while I'm in Stockbridge, I will be getting to visit the Divine Mercy Shrine, which I've talked about in the past. Really excited about that. And then on Tuesday, the 22nd, I will be going to visit Webb's Yarn Store in Northampton. So if you are able to be there, send me a message on Ravelry. I'm going to be meeting with some people around 10, 11 in the morning, and then we're going to have lunch. So if you could join us, please do. And then Thursday, I will drive to Washington, D.C., and I'm going to stay with Colleen, who is the hostess of the DC Unraveled audio podcast, which is awesome, and you should check it out. And then I'll stay with her for a couple of days. I'm hoping on that Saturday, the 26th, to get to visit Looped Yarn Works, which is a yarn store in Washington. And then on the 27th, I will actually be leaving. I'm going to meet a viewer for brunch in the morning, and then I'll get on the auto train in the afternoon and head south, and I'll be home on Monday the 28th. And then I'll probably go into a coma for a couple of days just to like, let everything out. So, when I go on trips, I enjoy them while I'm on them, but when I get home, I sort of have to like decompress a little bit. So, the bee leaf half pie shawl. Hey, the bee is back. It hurt me. The bee leaf half pie shawl. I haven't had a chance to work on it. I'm hoping to work on it tonight, maybe. I will be doing packing and stuff because I'm leaving here in the morning, but hopefully I will get to work on it tonight. The bee leaf half pie shawl, we're having a knit along running from November 1st. Wait, September 1st. Let me actually bring it up here. September 1st through November 30th. If you show your picture of your shawl anywhere, if you could tag it with Bee Leaf, Beeleaf, you need to start the shawl on or after September 1st. Block it and put a picture in the finished object thread by the end of the day on November 30th. You do not have to be a member of the Sock Bunny group to win. You do have to watch the podcast, though, to find out if you won. If you knit your shawl in Sock Bunny Studios yarn, you get to post it twice in 2 separate posts so that you have more of a chance to win. If you want to donate prizes to this giveaway, please let me know. And charity, we are having in September, October, November, we're having a hat, scarf, mitten drive for Pinellas Hope, which is a local homeless shelter to me run by the Catholic Diocese of St. Petersburg. And it can be any age, any gender, as long as it's washable yarn. So send me a private message and I'll send you my address. And thank you to everybody who has sent stuff so far. And now I'm going to start talking about my trip to New England. So if you don't want to hear about that, feel free to leave. But before you go, I want to remind you to put your prayer requests in the prayer request thread. Enter the fitness threads. There's a thread for Ask Sock Bunny or John John. Oh, and yes, John John is here with me, and he's having a grand time. He's really happy to get to see Sarah. List your favorite smartphone and tablet apps in the appropriate thread in the Sock Bunny group. And also... oh, that's it. So if you're not staying with me, I will see you next time I record, which will be from Stockbridge, Massachusetts. If you're staying with me, I'm just going to give a quick rundown of how the trip has been going so far, because I know a lot of people have had questions about that. So I'm going to take another sip of coffee. I really wish the sun would come out for at least a minute for you guys so you can see how beautiful it is. But okay, so on Saturday the 12th, I left my house at probably about 10:15 in the morning, and I arrived at the train station at about 1 o'clock. The Amtrak Auto Train Station is in Sanford, Florida, which is north of Orlando, Florida. And so I arrived there at about 1 o'clock and I checked in, and they ask you, do you want to eat dinner at 5 or at 7? And I figured there were a lot of people with kids, they probably want to eat at 5. So I would let them have those spots. So I went ahead and signed up for the 7 o'clock dinner. And then when I got there, of course, I gave them my car, which was sort of weird. They're just like, bring the stuff on the train that you need for that night, and that's it. And somebody's walking their dog over here. Really cute. So I gave them my car, and then I sat in the station and I talked to a lady who was knitting, which was really cool. And I sent my husband a text that somebody was knitting, and he laughed. Oh, the doggy's carrying a big giant stick. So cute. I have to show you. Hold on. Oh no, it's running away. Never mind. It was carrying like this 4-foot long stick. Really cute. Okay. I miss Bandit. All right, so then we departed the train station at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and the seats were really roomy and big. It was like almost twice as big as an airplane seat. Very nice. They reclined. The train wasn't full at all, so the seat next to me I had all to myself, and I could pile all my junk in the seat next to me, which was really nice. I had dinner at 7 o'clock in the dining car. I was about 5 cars away from the dining car, so I had to walk through a whole bunch of cars, but that was okay. To go to the bathroom, I had to go downstairs, but I was like, my seat was right by the stairs, so I had to go down these winding stairs to the bottom, and then they had, the toilets were similar to those in an airplane. I know you're like, wow, toilets on a train. And I was like, wow, I've gone to the bathroom on a plane and a train. You know, my brain, it's weird. And so after dinner, I watched a Star Trek movie. I actually watched the first Star Trek movie, Star Trek the Motion Picture. And then I tried to sleep. I just couldn't. I have insomnia anyway. It just wasn't going to happen. I slept fitfully from about 3 in the morning till about 5 in the morning. And at 5 in the morning, I was wide awake. They started serving at breakfast at 6, but I waited till about 6:30 and went and had breakfast. And I had coffee and orange juice and a bagel, and no, not a bagel, a muffin and a banana. And then we got to the train station the next morning, that morning, Sunday the 13th. We arrived there at 8 o'clock. They say you won't be there till 9:30, but I think they're just giving themselves some leeway in case there's slow down for whatever reason. So we actually got off the train at about 8:20, and then what they do is they've assigned your car a number so that you wait for them to call your car number. Because what they do is they have special train cars that they put your car in. So they unload them, and as they unload them, they just call the number, and you wait for your number, and then you walk out, you get your car, you drive away. So I got my car at about 9 o'clock. It was raining. There was really heavy traffic, like the second I hit the interstate right outside Virginia. Even though it was Sunday, the traffic was really heavy. Like I said before, I met Kim in New York City and had a late dinner with her at about 3:30, and I left her at about 5:15. And then I arrived at my daughter's school in Greenville, Rhode Island, at about 9:15. When I left Tampa, it was 84 degrees. When I arrived at Sarah's school, it was 44 degrees. So a little bit chilly for me, but it was okay. And I'm staying in this cute little apartment that they have here for the visitors can stay in. And I have my own bathroom and my own bedroom, and actually a little kitchenette, which I'm not using because I'm eating with the students here. And it's just really nice, very cute. And I have a little space heater. They don't have heat, central heat in this school. So any room, I think the library, because it's new construction, it has heat. And I think the chapel has heat. But the rest of the rooms, I don't think they have central heat. I think they use space heaters for everything. So um, Monday, the 14th, basically we just hung around. Sarah had some school stuff she had to do, but then we went shopping. We went to Barnes and Noble and Target and stuff like that, and picked up a few things that she needed. We just really hung around, had a nice lunch together. We ate dinner with her classmates here. In the evening, she actually asked to watch Doctor Who. I was completely surprised. So I had my little tablet, and luckily I have 4G access on my tablet, so we were able to watch Doctor Who. And that was it for Monday. Tuesday, the 15th, we drove into Boston, and that was quite an adventure. So we left in the morning, and she drove into Boston because she's driven into Boston before, and she really wanted to drive into Boston. So I let her, and we drove into Boston. Traffic was a little bit crazy getting into Boston and finding the parking. So we went to Boston Common, which is like the beginning of the Freedom Trail, and I have a little brochure here. So the parking garage is actually under the park. Boston Common is a park in Boston, obviously. And so we parked in the parking garage beneath it, and we had to pay like $28 to park there for the day. Crazy, but it was worth it because then I knew our car was semi-safe and we weren't parked on the street and having to worry about parking meters and stuff like that. So that was okay. So we parked there and then we walked, and I'm going to show you. I got this map to show the Freedom Trail. So here is the map of Boston, and then I'm just going to show you the part that we did. So the part that we walked is marked in red, and so we started over here in Boston Common, and we did all this walking. It's all these sites, and then we got over here to the Old North Church, and we decided not to continue on. If you continue on up here, you can see the USS Constitution, which is the oldest Navy ship. Was named by George Washington himself, but I had gone online and it was closed. You could see it from the outside, but you couldn't actually go onto it, which I'm not even sure you can go onto it anyway. But anyway, I heard that it was closed, so we didn't bother walking all the way up there. Plus, we were getting tired. So then we walked all the way back down here. We had lunch at a really nice little pub, Blackstone Grill, I think is what it was. We went into a couple of Catholic churches, which was really nice. And some of the sites that you can see from the tour, like when you're doing the walking tour. Okay, so if you've never been to Boston, which I had never been, what they do for this tour is on the road or on the sidewalk, you follow a red line. So the red line can be painted on, and you just walk along the red line to see the various sites. Or in certain areas, it's actually red bricks that they have that are outlined with whitish bricks, gray bricks. So you follow the trail, and that takes you to the various places. So we saw what did we see? We saw, why is this not telling me the things that I saw there? We saw what was it called? There's a graveyard called the Granary Graveyard or something like that. There were graves there from the 1770s. It was sort of creepy. It looked sort of like something from the Haunted Mansion ride at Disney. Who's buried there? I think John Adams is buried there. I could be totally wrong about that. But there were some famous graves there, so we saw that. Why am I not finding what I'm looking for here? We saw King's Chapel. I don't know why I'm even bothering looking at this because it's not showing me. Oh, we saw Paul Revere's house. We didn't go in because we were tired. We saw Paul Revere's house. We saw the Old North Church, which is where the lantern was hung. Where he's now. If I'm getting this wrong, don't kill me because I am like my brain's broken today. But I think that's where they hung the lantern where Paul Revere did one if by land, two if by sea, or something like that, where the British are coming, that kind of stuff. I'm not really good at Boston history, so I need to work on that. So it was really fun. The fun thing was of course being with Sarah, but also, sorry, this guy is. Let me see if I can block the sound. This guy is blowing leaves next to me. So I guess with that, since he's blowing leaves here next to me, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and say goodbye. Anything I forgot, I will say on the next week's episode. My battery is dying anyway. And I had a really nice time with Sarah in Boston, just seeing all the old buildings and just the history of it, and just, thinking about being somewhere where I mean, I know people like in England have stuff that's even older than that, but for us to have something that's from the 1600s, that really blows my mind. I mean, yes, in Florida they do have, like in St. Augustine, there are some older things and stuff like that, but in Tampa, there's not really anything that old there. So it was just really neat to get to see such old stuff there, and the buildings, and the seeing the old buildings with the new buildings, and just walking along the trail was really fun. And we did a little shopping, which I will talk about next time. So well, I'm going to give you one more tour of how beautiful it is here. I'm just going to show you some trees, and then I'm going to say goodbye. So I hope you enjoyed this very unusual podcast episode of me outdoors. I hope it wasn't too annoying, and I hope the wind wasn't too annoying. So I'm going to give you one more tour real quick, so close your eyes if you're seasick. And the beautiful trees, beautiful Mary, beautiful sky, top of my head. And over here, just gorgeous. And he's leaving finally. Beautiful trees. Beautiful school. Beautiful people in the school. And that is it. So I hope that you have a great week. I will podcast next week after I go to Rhinebeck. I'll be podcasting from my friend's house in Stockbridge, Massachusetts. I hope you have a great week and keep on crafting. Bye.